everyone. Sorry, let me get set up here. I just want to say real quick, this is really inspiring and very agitating seeing y'all here today. I was gonna, sorry, I was gonna try not to cry, but this is just so wonderful, and I appreciate everyone so much for coming and defending the Filipino people, my people, and you know, sorry, this is not part of my speech. I'm ad-libbing a little bit, but it's just, yeah, you know, it's just so motivating and agitating to know we're not alone in the struggle, that other people care, and that other people are willing to jump in and come and support and come out to this weird-looking park here where they have the Oregon Investment Council. But yeah, and I think it's just a reminder of the importance of international solidarity and the strength of collective power and the fearlessness that can come about from it when you know, when we confront people who are apathetic and actively trying to destroy the best interests of the people. Yeah. Okay. But just really appreciate everyone here and keep going. That's all I gotta say. Thank you so much. Okay, so again, I'm Johnny, and I'm a member of Migrante Portland, which is a member organization of Bayan, which is acronym for the New Patriotic Alliance, or in Tagalog, it's known as the Bagong Alyansang Makabayan. We are national democratic with a socialist perspective focused on fighting for the rights and welfare of the Filipino people, and we aim to uproot the major problems in Philippine society, and that is US-driven war and colonial domination of the Philippines, corrupt and fascist government, and landlessness rooted in persisting feudalism, which continues to deprive the Filipino people of economic opportunity in their own country. So we talked about landlessness, corporate plunder, and abuse of the Filipino people, and that's rooted in the Philippine government's subservience to US economic and political greed. The conditions of the Filipino people that we outlined here today are the conditions that also force the Filipino people to leave and search for work abroad in countries like right here in the US. The US Marcos regime prioritizes weapons, corporate super profits, surveillance, and repression of the Filipino people over joblessness and economic hopelessness rooted in the landlessness and corporate plunder of the Filipino people. Marcos Jr. prioritizes bribing the Filipino people to support changing the Philippine Constitution that would allow for even more foreign corporate ownership of Philippine soil. Meanwhile, Filipino families mourn the loss of loved ones in a landslide caused by gold mining from Apex that contributes directly to foreign plunder of Philippine natural resources. Jeepney drivers face loss of livelihood due to government-mandated phase-out, only to be met with joblessness and prospects of barely making ends meet for themselves and their family. Since November, over 2 million Filipino workers have lost their jobs due to these foreign companies relocating without a concern for how it affects its workers. The Filipino people are forced into migration for economic opportunity, only to become victims of Asian hate crimes like the Roque family in Southern California, or abandoned by their employers and government in the US, like the United Six Filipino fishermen up in Westport, Washington, or fired for trying to organize their fellow coworkers, like the Jollibee workers in New Jersey, who fought for their jobs back, but they were initially fired for trying to fight for better wages and working conditions. This is the plight of the Filipino people. Bleak economic opportunity, a government cavalier and violent towards its people's needs, and the Filipino people forced to fight for a livelihood that is constantly being denied to them. These conditions have birthed and developed an armed revolution in the Philippines between the Communist Party of the Philippines, New People's Army, the National Democratic Front of the Philippines, versus the government of the Republic of the Philippines. This is a civil war between two belligerent forces, one fighting to end human suffering rooted in economic exploitation and U.S. colonial domination, the other fighting to line the pockets of billionaires, politicians, and their cronies. Which side are you on? Which side are we on? The people or the 1%?
The people!
That's right. We have a stake in changing this world. We in Bayan, Oregon, demand that the Oregon State Treasury divest from corporations which directly contribute to the plunder and repression of the Filipino people. We call on as many people as possible to build genuine solidarity with the Filipino people and join the solidarity movement for the Philippines. Can I teach y'all a chant real quick?
Yes.
Well, some of you might already know it, but this one will be in Tagalog. It's Maki Baka, Wag Matakot, which means dare to struggle, dare to fight, or like be ready to fight and don't be afraid. So I'll say Maki Baka, and then you guys will say Wag Matakot. Can we try that real quick? Maki Baka.
Wag Matakot.
All right, that sounds great. Maki Baka.
Wag Matakot.
Maki Baka.
Wag Matakot.
All right, then I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'll say Wag Matakot, and y'all say Maki Baka. Can y'all say Maki Baka with me? Maki Baka. All right. Wag Matakot.
Maki Baka.
Wag Matakot.
Maki Baka.
Maki Baka.
Wag Matakot.
All right, beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Johnny. From Palestine to the Philippines, stop the U.S. war machine. From Palestine to the Philippines, stop the U.S. war machine. From Palestine to the Philippines, stop the U.S. war machine. All right. Next up, we're going to have a cultural performance by the Bayan Choir.
The choir gets set up, 3-person choir. My name is Mac. I'm a member of Gabriela Portland, and Gabriela, as well as Migrante and Anak Bayan Portland, we represent the women, youth, and migrant sectors of the National Democratic Movement in the Philippines. So this is a song, I believe it's called Justice for the New Bataan 5, or that's really the essence of the song. But it was written by Bayan organizers here locally in Oregon to commemorate and honor the lost lives of the New Bataan 5 who were brutally massacred by the armed forces of the Philippines in 2022. And content warning, but they were really severely tortured, their skin was peeled off, they were hacked to pieces by the AFP, all for being volunteer teachers, health workers, drivers for those teachers and health workers, and those who had really determined that they were going to use their lives to serve the people. Outrage! Exactly, and we were outraged as Bayan, and the movement, and the solidarity movement as well, was outraged to see their death, and as well as so many other activists in the Philippines and across the globe who have really been targeted by state forces for making that conscious, committed, and everyday decision to serve the people in the face of extreme violence and state suppression. And so I just want to ask all of you to listen to this song, hear the words, and connect it to your own experience as someone who is here serving the people as well, right? You have taken up an issue that you really care about, whether that's environmental justice, human rights, just globally, there are so many things to be agitated about, and it's really important for us to stay focused, to know who the enemy is, and to really consciously decide every day to serve the masses of people. And so we want to offer this song to you all, and Brittany's going to share a quote from one of the New Bataan 5.
Hi y'all, I'm Britt, any pronouns. So Chad Baok said, if you are planted, it means you will sprout once more, you will grow, flourish, multiply, bear more fruit. That's why when I die, I don't want to be buried. I want to be planted. So yeah, as we do this, remember that music is medicine. I hope you're all like finding your own sources of medicine, right? So that we can heal ourselves and send 7 generations before, 7 generations after, as we continue to do this work. Bathe in it, bathe in the music, let it transform your rage into a beautiful garden.
And don't be shy. Feel free to come in. Here, let me go behind you. Oh, that's okay.
The toiling masses struggle each day. Landlords are spoiled on their stolen wage. Dictators bullets like rice across the land. Imperial conquest, its heavy hand. Teachers and nurses, the people they serve, abandon the lives they fought to preserve. Motherland soil where your blood was spilled. The words of Kalikasan ring truer still. When you are planted, you sprout once more. A fire orange flower that blooms in your heart. Hidden in homeland you loved until death. We wait and we watch for your blossoming star. Farmlands and schools, these places of peace, rotted and grabbed by colonial greed. Arms interlinked when one of us falls. The words of Kalikasan will echo the call. When you are planted, you sprout once more. A fire orange flower that blooms in your heart. Hidden in homeland you loved until death. We wait and we watch for your blossoming star. Justice for child. We wait and we watch for your